A father and son were once travelling on a boat with a few friends. The son exclaimed, "How nice would it be had we now had some fish?" His father replied that it is very possible that our God sends us a fish from this very river. In hearing this, a friend said that the boy is too young to understand such matters. But without hesitation, the father answered that our God is all-powerful, and if he so willed, would send us a fish this very instant. Lo and behold, before he had even finished his sentence, a big wave swept up a large fish onto the deck of the boat. In many ways, this prodigious child was the fulfillment of the Holy Prophet ﷺ's prophecy regarding the promised Messiah ﷺ, that he would marry and have offspring. His name was Hadhrat Mirza Nasir Ahmad.
खुदा का ये एहसान है हम पे भारी कि जिसने है अपनी ये नेमत उतारी.
He was born on the 16th of November 1909 in Qadian. At the tender age of 13, he had completed the memorization of the Holy Quran, and by the age of 20, he was among the top students to achieve the Maulvi Fadhil degree. He was sent to England on the 6th of September 1934, where, having studied in Oxford University, completed his BA and MA in philosophy and economics. During his time as a student in England, Hadhrat Mirza Nasir Ahmad started a monthly magazine entitled Al-Islam, with the sole purpose of showing the Western world the true, beautiful teachings of Islam. He states, "Many a time I would wonder why my father gave me permission and spent so much money for me to go and study in Oxford University. It was not that I come and learn something from them, but that I myself become worthy enough to one day come and teach them. This is why I observed and examined the way they live and behave." On the 8th of November 1965, after the sad demise of his father, Hadhrat Mirza Nasir Ahmad was elected the third Khalifah in Rabwa. 1970 marked the year when Huzur toured West Africa. Whilst there, he felt a dire need to help the poor people around him. He devised the Nusrat Jahan scheme to tackle the problems in Africa by building hospitals and schools for the locals. By the grace of Allah, the impact of this scheme was instant, and by the end of the Third Caliphate, over 20 hospitals and more than 120 schools had been built. Later that year, Huzur went on to visit Switzerland, England, Germany and Spain, laying the foundations of mosques in several of these countries. The Basharat Mosque in Spain was the first to be built in the country for more than 700 years. Of the many schemes launched by the third Khalifa, one of the most notable ones is the Talim al-Quran scheme, launched in 1966 with the desire that there be no member of the Jamaat unable to recite the Holy Quran and understand its meanings. In the same year, Huzur started the Waqf-e-Arzi scheme, which required volunteers to serve the Jamaat for 2 to 6 weeks at their own expenditure. Huzur then opened the Waqf-e-Jadid office for the Atfal, encouraging them to instill the habit of sacrifice within themselves. A flame of opposition was kindled in 1974 against the community. The situation had become so grave that news of Ahmadis being arrested, injured and even martyred was arriving on a regular basis. But the enemies did not stop there. Mosques, libraries and mission houses were either seized or destroyed. Ahmadis all over the country were boycotted. For several months, Huzur spent his nights in prayer for the protection and well-being of his sincere followers. The eyes of the Christian world were gazed upon Ahmadiyyat in 1978, when Hadhrat Mirza Nasir Ahmad delivered his speech about the breaking of the cross in London. Despite threats from different churches, Huzur was not to be averted from presenting to the world Islam's beautiful teachings.